ever feel like, even you get a little lost on your own website sometimes? Like you've got all this amazing content, you've poured your heart into it, but it's not quite connecting with the people who need it most.
It's a really common problem, actually.
It is, right. So today we're digging into a strategy that can help with exactly that, SEO silo structure.
And you know what? It's amazing how often a little rearranging, a little restructuring can make a huge difference, both for how search engines see your site and for how real people experience it.
Okay, so SEO silo structure. I'll be honest, it sounds a tad technical. Can you break it down for us? What's the simplest way to think about this?
Picture a library, right? You've got fiction, history, science, everything neatly categorized. That's what we're going for with your website.
So instead of just hitting publish on my latest blog post and hoping for the best, I need a system.
Exactly. It's about creating that system, that structure, to make your site crystal clear for both Google and your human visitors.
So how do I actually DO that? Where do I begin?
Think of it like this. Your main categories, those are the foundation of your silos. Say you sell, I don't know, handmade jewelry, home decor, and natural bath products, right? Those become your top-level silos.
Makes sense. So each one's like this distinct area of expertise.
Exactly. And within each of those, you'll have subtopics. So different types of jewelry, styles of home decor, you get the idea.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all gets organized, kind of like those content clusters we've talked about.
You got it. And to really strengthen those clusters, we use internal linking. It's like weaving threads between all this related content.
So an example, if I have a blog post about, let's say, choosing the right necklace for your face shape.
Perfect example. You'd want to link that back to your main jewelry page.
Okay. So I'm sending people deeper into the silo, but also signaling to Google what it's all about.
Exactly. And this is where the magic really happens. Not only does it make your site super easy to navigate, but it also tells Google you're the go-to expert on that whole topic cluster.
Which hopefully means better rankings.
You got it. Google loves to see that comprehensive, authoritative approach. It's not enough to just have one or two pieces of content in each silo. Aim for, say, 5 to 7, at least to start. Really build up that authority.
So someone lands on that choosing the right necklace post. I want to make sure there's a whole bunch of other jewelry-related stuff for them to check out, right?
Exactly. It keeps them engaged, it shows off your expertise, and it tells Google you're the real deal when it comes to, well, in this case, jewelry. But it works for any niche.
This is making me think I really need to step up my internal linking game. I think I've been so focused on just churning out new content that I haven't gone back and made those connections.
It happens to the best of us. And it really is one of those things where a little effort can go a long way. And one tip I always give is to think strategically about your anchor text. So
Yeah.
the actual words you use for the link itself.
Oh, good point. So instead of just something generic like click here, I should use keywords related to the content I'm linking to.
Exactly. So going back to that necklace example, you wouldn't just say read more or whatever. You'd use something like necklace styles for different face shapes.
Makes sense. It's telling Google A&D, my readers, what to expect. And speaking of being relevant to readers, what about businesses with a local focus? Like, I'm thinking a landscaping company in Miami. They probably need a slightly different approach than, say, an online jewelry store that ships nationwide.
Absolutely. And this is where you can get really smart with your silo structure. You can actually create location-based silos within your main categories.
Okay, my brain needs a little help visualizing this. Break it down for me. How do locations fit into all of this?
Sure. So let's stick with landscaping. Your main categories, those top-level silos, might be something like design, maintenance, and plant selection, right?
Got it. Like my website would have a main page dedicated to each of those services.
Exactly. Now, let's say you service multiple cities across Florida, right? Under each of those main categories, you could have sub-silos for each location.
Okay, so under plant selection, I might have like best plants for Miami Gardens, then another section for drought-tolerant landscaping in Tampa, and so on.
You got it. And within each of those location-specific sub-silos, you have your individual articles, videos, whatever content you've got, all hyper-relevant to both that location and that service.
It's amazing. So it's like this incredibly organized, interlinked web of content. Everything's connected back to those main themes.
Exactly. And the best part is, what's good for Google is also good for the humans who actually visit your site. A well-structured website equals a better user experience, hands down.
Tell me more about that. I know we touched on user experience, but I'm really curious to dig deeper into that aspect. So we've covered a lot of ground here, but I think the main takeaway is that a well-structured site makes everyone happy, Google and our visitors.
Exactly. And that user experience piece is so crucial. Think about it. Have you ever landed on a website and it's just overwhelming? Can't find what you need, no clear path.
Ugh, all the time. It's the worst. I usually just give up and go somewhere else.
Right. And that's exactly what we want to avoid. A good silo structure makes your website a joy to browse. People find what they need quickly. They discover more content that's relevant to them. It just creates this really positive experience.
Which hopefully means they'll stick around longer, maybe even become a customer.
Exactly. And that's why I love the strategy so much. It's not about trying to trick Google. It's about creating a genuinely valuable experience for the people visiting your site.
Okay, I'm sold. But how do I know if it's working? Like, what should I be looking for to see if my SEO silos are actually doing their thing?
Data, data, data. Keep a close eye on your website analytics, specifically your organic traffic. Are you seeing more people landing on those pages within your silos? Are they sticking around longer, viewing more pages per visit?
And if I'm not seeing those changes,
It might be time to revisit your structure. Maybe it needs a little tweaking, or your internal linking could be stronger. An ongoing process, really.
so not a set it and forget it kind of deal.
Yeah. Nope. Think of it like, I don't know, a garden, right? You plant the seeds, that's your content. But then you've got to tend to it, prune it back, make sure it's thriving. Websites are kind of the same way.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
Just remember, your website, it's your online storefront. It's often that first impression you're making on potential customers. So make it count. Make it inviting. Make it easy to navigate and fill it with valuable content that truly resonates with your people.
Couldn't said it better myself.
Yeah.
So if your website was a library, would it be beautifully organized and easy to browse? Or a little chaotic, maybe even overwhelming? Time to channel your inner librarian, folks. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.